it all started. Everyone was sent home here in Memphis from school and most jobs on March 13th. Mm-hmm. And I think I was initially a little panicked that I was going to be stuck at home, because that was the literal, words that were used: stay at home. And then I started thinking about the rules of like, well, what are the rules? Like, don't go to a bar, don't go to church, don't go to have a party, don't just stay away from crowds. You can go to the park, you can walk around, you can talk to people from 20 feet away, outdoors, it's perfectly fine. But still, the social norms kind of still worried me that if I start taking these pictures, am I going to be targeted, and canceled, or whatever you want to call it. So I first started with friends. Ryan Azada and Maria Applegate were the first people I called to say, hey, can I just come take your picture through your windows, and just to give me something to do. And then after that, I kind of put it on, reluctantly, I put it on social media thinking it's either going to backfire or it's going to keep me busy. And we were all told, yeah, we'll shut down for 2 weeks. Yeah. And then we can, so I was thinking it's a 2-week project. So I was trying to get as many in a day as I could for 2 weeks, because I knew it was going to end, or I thought it was going to end. And after that happened, I was getting text messages and messages from like 5 different sources, from emails and Facebook and Instagram. And that got out of hand. I couldn't keep up with that. So Leah, my wife, said, look, let me take over the organizing of it, because at that point there were too many people. And she made a Google sign-up sheet, which then went almost within weeks to 1,200 people. And then she organized them all by zip code and area. So if I was going to Germantown, I needed like 15 people that were in the same area, so I could just go from one house to the other. Mm-hmm. Kind of like going to the grocery store. You don't want to go to the produce and then immediately to the eggs and then back to the produce. Like, plan it, right?
Well, that's how I act in the grocery store. But well, ideally, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah. So when I was doing it, I was like, oh yeah, I'm driving to Collierville, and then I'd have someone downtown. And I was like, I can't, that's too much driving, and that's not efficient. So she broke it down and did the schedule for 2 months. Mm-hmm. And it was like, she would just put it in a Google map, and I'd open my phone and there would be a list of people there, and I would just go one after the other. So I could just focus on showing up, doing the job, and going to the next one. Mm-hmm. And then sitting and editing for 6 hours at the end of the day. So it was, we didn't have that many rain days either. So it was almost every day for 2.5 months, a little over 2.5 months.
See, that's my memory of the beginning of the pandemic, is how beautiful the weather was.
It was beautiful almost until the end of May.
Yeah, I was like, it feels like it should be storming outside or something. Like there should be some visible, like, manifestation of all this.
Yeah, that really helped, because my vehicle is not air conditioned. So driving around all day would have been brutal if it would have gotten into the 90s in the beginning of May. By June 8th, it was hot. Yeah. And that was one of the factors. It was like, yeah, I got to stop. It's just too much.
Yeah. So all these pictures were taken between March
13th and June 8th. June 8th was the last one that I shot. And then it still took me another 25 days to edit, because I wasn't able to keep up with the editing of every day. I couldn't shoot and edit those the same day. And by the time I stopped, I had, like, early May still hadn't even been looked at. Yeah. So I had a month of editing to do. And so I was finished totally with that by the first week of July, probably. And then every single family or person and dwelling that I showed up to, I would send them a link with their images that were edited, so they could have those to do what they wanted with. Yeah. So like every single 830 of those is all a separate link and all a private thing for them to have. Because there was no charge. Didn't even want to really talk about money, because we wanted it, when I talked to Leah about it a lot, to just brainstorm it, and she was like, it needs to be equitable, like it doesn't need to, you don't need to feel like it is something that you have to purchase, like a private setting of a photographer. It needed to be, just sign up. It's just something for all of us to do. And many people did donate money, to keep things going, which was wonderful, and I appreciate all of those people. But I never discussed it, just because there are so many people that were trying to figure out even how to navigate the government assistance system and all of those things.
So you said you did about 800?
It was about 833, I think, was the total number by June 8th.
Wow.
And yeah, and it was also 15-minute conversations with 830 people over those first 2 months. So it was a really great perspective of trying to figure out what is going to happen. So I wasn't really paying attention to those conversations until May. And then it all became clear that, oh, this is going to be the best we get. You know, like these are the golden days. And then it's just going to go to hell, you know? And it kind of did.
Yeah.